Outgoing US President Donald Trump has become the first ever US president to be impeached twice. Democrats in the House of Representatives, along with 10 of Trump's fellow Republicans, have voted in favor of charging him with inciting last week's storming of the Capitol. Trump leaves office on the 20th of January, and the Senate's Republican Majority Leader insists his trial in the upper house won't take place before that. Well, for more, let's cross now to Washington to speak with our correspondent, Ketavan Gordestani. Ketavan, just how significant is this impeachment vote in the House of Representatives?
Well, it was always going to be an easy vote for the Democrats because they control the House. The question was how many Republicans were actually going to join the Democrats in impeaching Donald Trump. And there were 10 Republicans who did that. Now, it might seem like a small number, but remember that last year when Donald Trump was first impeached, there were 0 Republicans who voted to impeach the president in the House of Representatives. So that was a big deal. Now, moving forward, there are 2 questions. One is, when will Nancy Pelosi decide to transfer that article of impeachment to the Senate? There has been some back and forth among Democrats themselves, those who are pushing for a speedy transfer to the Senate, for a speedy trial. Others who are saying that, no, let's wait a little bit. Joe Biden will have other priorities when he comes into office. He will need the Senate to be focused on those priorities. So we're still waiting, but the consensus seems to be now that Nancy Pelosi will transfer this article very shortly, and that the Senate will take up that trial when it returns to Washington on January 19th. The other question is, after that Senate trial, how many Republicans will join Democrats in voting to convict Donald Trump? And it seems that the House Representatives, House Republicans, opened the door to more Republicans in the Senate voting to convict. You had the number 3 House Republican Liz Cheney voting to impeach. And now you're seeing the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying publicly that he hasn't decided how he will vote in that Senate trial. That is really giving a leeway to all Republicans to vote their conscience and decide how they want to do it, not like it happened in the first impeachment where Mitch McConnell really whipped those Republican votes into place. We'll have to see whether 17 Republican senators joined the 50 Democrats in order to convict Donald Trump. That is definitely a taller order.
Now, Ketavan, we have heard from outgoing US President Donald Trump since he was impeached for a second time, something he failed to even reference in his address. Let's take a listen.
I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence.
So, Ketavan, Trump condemning violence there, but possibly a case of shutting the stable door once the horse has bolted.
Yes, this is definitely the message that a lot of people, including within his own party, would have loved to see the president put out a week ago on January the 6th when that violence was happening. So it comes a week after the Capitol riots. Some will say it's too little too late. Others will say better late than never. But at least the president has now unequivocally condemned the violence. We heard him there. And there was a direct message to his supporters. That final sentence of the soundbite we just heard, no true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. He continued to say no supporter of his would disrespect law enforcement, would disrespect the American flag, and he finished, if you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement. You are attacking it. So gone are the messages of we love you, you are special people, you are the real patriots. This time he was telling those violent supporters to get back in line, stand back and stop the violence and stay calm. So there is a change of messaging from the president. That said, he also said that there were no excuses, no explanations this time. So it seems that he is starting to feel the pressure from his allies in Congress, in both the House and the Senate. We saw the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy not vote for impeachment, but saying that Donald Trump was partly responsible for the violence. You're seeing also donors move back from Donald Trump, move back from the GOP, companies breaking ties with the Trump organization. And so the president, it seems, in the final days of his term, is realizing that he is losing a lot of allies, and he's trying to at least do the right thing, even if some people will say it's really too little too late.
Ketavan Kurdistani in Washington, thank you very much.